Leo, it's nice to virtually meet you. Congratulations on the lockdown.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, Manny.
Tell us a little bit about the film.
Yeah, so I think it reads as just a martial arts film, which it absolutely is, and it has some really great action, but it's really about just a dysfunctional family, because who doesn't like watching people who are dysfunctional? It's about a brother and sister who, in order to transfer the deed to their father's legacy gym, they have to go get it signed by him, and he's in a prison in Myanmar. And they get accused of a crime that they did not commit, and they get forced into an illegal fight ring, and their options are fight for their potential freedom, or lose and die. So there's quite a bit of stakes to it.
Yeah, the perfect platform for a movie like this. Keeps you on your toes and also keeps you invested on rooting for you guys to make it out of that prison where nobody can find you, of course. What does it mean to you to be part of this Tiger Style Media initiative? Really, to have to kind of almost like reignite the passion, the love for kung fu films.
I feel really honored to be a part of it. Really, martial arts is very close to my heart, as is acting. Both are things that make me very happy, and things that I've dedicated my life to. When I was 4 years old, I was obsessed with watching Bruce Lee films, and to be able to do something that is in the ballpark of what Bruce Lee used to do would make my childhood self very happy. And so, for that reason, I'm beyond grateful to get to be in a film like this.
Now you have some amazing fight sequences where just caught me saying things out loud, which was really great. Is it a case where you're doing all the acting and all of the martial arts?
Yeah, we didn't have any doubles on this film. So anything you see that Caity and I are doing, it's Caity and I. So another reason I'm proud, because we worked very hard on all that stuff. We had a pretty intense boot camp, and we pulled it together. And I can say I'm really, really happy with the action. I'm a tough critic because it's what I do. And yeah, I'm really proud and happy that it's out there, or will
Yeah,
be out.
yeah, it's a really important question for me to ask, just because of the fact that there's so many action movies, and I'm not trying to badmouth anything else, other higher productions, or where they have higher people they can't necessarily have do their own stunts because it would cost too much. But when it comes to films like these, it's an art where you can take longer sequences, you can see the actors' emotions while performing crazy moves.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is how do you prepare for something like that? Tell me your process.
Well, kind of going back to what you were saying about like bigger films and whatnot, I think a lot of big budget films and whatnot, if they could have their lead actor do a lot of the stunts, they would for fights like this, but people can't, because it takes a really long time to be able to do stuff like we did in this film. And it's something that I've done for a long time, 24 years of my life I've been doing martial arts. And so in that way, it's just time of getting good at this craft. And it's cool to get to show it off. It really is, because it's a love of mine, and it's cool to kind of get to mold it into one film and one project like this. So yeah.
And I mean, I say that because we geek out a lot of times when we see scenes where we notice that, oh, they didn't cut away from that. That's a
Right.
continuous shot, and it's a testament to your work.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. That was what you were saying about being able to see what's going on. Right. Having the actual actor be in it. It does lend itself to much more of something that drives the story rather than just a bookmark. Like, there's sometimes where action can be like, oh, okay, here we're just going to watch this fight scene, and then we're going to be back to the story. And so when I get to do the stunts and the action, I try to push the story along through the fight. And something that I talked about with Ryan too is like, through these ring fights, like, all right, we should have moments. And he was saying, all right, great, let's have a moment with your dad here. Like, just things that push the story along, because yeah, action's great, but just mindless action, it's not interesting. There has to be a reason for it. So I think we did a good job at that.
Yeah, I think you have, and you've obviously learned from the greats, because that's part of what makes these movies so great, is being able to story tell, while taking a hit, while hitting somebody else. the stakes, you be able to see it, like I said, in you. So it's a testament to your work. We all know Caity Lotz, of course, from other series. What was it like to work with her as your sister? And that's a really pretty cat.
Thank you. This is Chewy. He decided to
Oh,
come and go as he wishes. Um, Katie was awesome, and I had a really easy time. Like she was talking about it earlier, like she just feels like my older sister. Like it really, we fell into this kind of brother sister role quite easily, and it definitely plays on screen. It plays even better than I anticipated. Working on it, like it just, I really believe us as brother and sister. She has a much more sort of protective point of view, and I have this kind of naive, people pleasing, wanting to believe the best in dad kind of point of view, and they come together and they battle. She's obviously very experienced. She's solid. We were able to really just get into it on the day and connect and do some good work together. So it was an honor to work with her. And Michael Biehn is a legend. Obviously, that was really I learned a lot about the craft working with him for sure.
can you expand a little bit on that? What were some of the things you learned?
Our first rehearsal with him, we were going to do a read through, and it just became like an hour-long improv from the sort of character's point of view. And it, it was just helpful. Sometimes we can intellectualize, like asking questions about the character, and then you do something like that where we improvise and it answers the questions without asking them. It's just like, oh, I get that. And since Jack had the sort of opinion of wanting dad's approval, wanting to believe that he was doing the right thing, it was really easy for me in that sort of improv to just empathize with him and understand where he was coming from. And it helped me imply some other decisions later on in the story. So that's something that I'll definitely take to my work and use in the future. And he just is a really intense, just he's 100% in full commitment to every little bit that he does. And he asks a lot of questions, which I admire. And there's a lot. He's just he's been doing it forever. He's got a lot of gems, and it was cool to just kind of be a sponge with him.
That's something I've always admired about actors like you who get to really explore not only different skins, but also get to work with different actors and, like you said, be a sponge. I do it my way by asking you questions. So it's a great thing to do. I do want to ask you, speaking of intensity, some of those set pieces are really, really cool. Where did you guys shoot the film?
We actually shot at a real prison that was abandoned in 3 hours south of Bangkok in an area called Chonburi. And it was a real prison. Everything you saw was practical. It's cool in this film. Stunts, practical, no wires, no anything like that. It's me and Katie doing it 100% of the time. And same thing, we were in a real prison, and that's something that Shannon McIntosh is really big on, and that's something I learned from her. She's all about, like, the more we can do it live on the day, the more practical we can make it, the better the whole product is going to be. And I really believe in that as well, and I think that's really cool.
So, what was your first reaction to walking into that arena? I mean, if it was,
Yeah, the arena was something. It was that. So I will say, I'll go back. That was not a set because there's no fight ring in the prison. That's not a real thing. But it was a warehouse that they put a ring in, and you get all these inmates in there screaming, and it's very easy to just get into the circumstances of the scene when that's going on, and you get adrenaline. Like every time we were shooting those fights, they have the extra screaming, and it's like a real fight. And we had the bands playing the traditional music, and so it was intense. There was a lot of adrenaline dump and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into those fights.
Leo, thank you so much for your insight on the lockdown. I really enjoyed your performance. I enjoyed the action, and I enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you. I did too. Thanks, Manny. Have a good day.